Hello and welcome to Snowbiz 24/7, small screen, big host, worldwide audience, coming to you on any internet connected device. I'm your host, Nicholas Snow, and yes, over 6 feet of snow has hit your internet experience. This particular episode is brought to you by the Sansuk Sauna and Guest House in Pattaya, Thailand. You can find them at sansukpattaya.com. With me on the episode today, I have a writer, producer, director of the movie A Moment in June, which will be seen internationally, but it's already been released theatrically in Thailand, Mr. O Nathapon. Let's go talk to O. Hello, O. How are you?
I'm well, thank you.
So we just saw Bicycles and Radios, which was the short film that got it all started.
Exactly.
And how many times have you screened that film in a Q&A scenario?
God, I lost count. The film was made in 2004. This is 5 years now. So I really lost touch on that. So yeah.
A Moment in June has had basically most of its theatrical release in Thailand. It's been out for several weeks. Is it still showing in theaters now?
No, I think it left now. I think it just came off the program.
Okay, so how are you feeling about the film's response here in Thailand?
I'm very pleased about it, actually. Obviously, there are those who really loved it and those who thought it was, those who understood it really loved it and are really glad about that. But at the same time, you expect those who didn't understand anything about it and really hated it, which I got both. And I think that's amazing because film should, intrigue, and it should get people started thinking and go on from there. And exactly what I got, really. But mostly, there've been a lot of good reviews, so I'm quite glad of that.
This is the House Cinema. It's a famous independent theater in Bangkok.
Yeah.
I suppose this particular space means a lot to independent filmmakers like you.
Completely, yeah. I mean, it's the only place, I think, for Thai filmmakers who would have a chance to get to see independent films that don't get to shown anywhere else. The sad truth is that it don't get as much support as it should. And for what I understand, every film that's shown here, they make a loss.
Okay.
But you have to keep it going because there's a tight community that keeps supporting it. But at the same time, I think they could have done with more audience. But what would you expect, really?
I was at Mahidol University this past weekend. I spoke to someone in their film school, and you have a big following there. She told me that many of the students in the film school there look up to you, they admire you, you're their hero. How does that make you feel?
Quite proud. Actually, very, very proud. But I'm glad that I could, influence other people, and I think that's I have been influenced by a lot of, other directors, and I'm glad that I could do the same for the younger generation or other people. So yeah, thank you for that.
You're welcome. Who are some of the directors that have influenced you?
In Thailand would be Ben Ek, who did Last Life in the Universe. He was somebody that I looked up to. Outside Thailand, it would be Stephen Daldry, who I really, really like, and David Lean or Sam Mendes. Those people.
What sort of doors are opening for you as the result of this theatrical movie? You wrote it, you produced it, you directed it, you got it released by the age of 27, and now your recent short film is airing on the BBC or Channel 4. Channel 4.
Yeah.
So what's opening up for you now?
This has been a lot of opportunities recently with but it's when you do something like this, being under in the middle of the spotlight, and people get to know you a bit more, and I'm considering somebody new at this time, so it quite predictable that I would, that kind of opportunity would come to me, which is quite nice. But having said that, I think I want to stick to my plan and what I want to do. I want to write another script and do the exact same thing all over again by producing it, and I'm going to be the director and all that as well. So yeah, yeah.
Do you think financing your future projects will be easier with the critical success you have behind you?
No, I think every new project had its own difficulty and its own challenge. So I think it might be easier to get started talking to people, but would it be easier getting the fun from the next film? No, I don't think it would be. But anyway, that's part of the fun anyway, isn't it? I mean, you go out and ask people to believe in you and do the thing that you believe in.
So what has allowed you to believe in yourself to the extent that you have followed your dreams as a filmmaker?
What has allowed me? That's a good question. I don't know. I mean, I just don't know how to do it any other way, really.
So you've always just had a lot of self-confidence and the willingness to go for what you wanted?
Well, without that, what would you do?
Well, a lot of people don't have it.
Well, I suppose I had nothing to lose. None of my family work in the film or the art business. So this is what I want to do, and I started with nothing, so I had nothing to lose, really. So there you are. I mean, when you're at that point, the only thing you can do is aim higher, and that's exactly what I did. So.
You had mentioned during the Q&A tonight that you pursued Shahkrit Yamnarm, who was already a star, to be in Bicycles and Radios, and then in A Moment in June, and then he was cast in Bangkok Dangerous, or had he made Bangkok Dangerous first?
Before Moment in June.
All right, so you knew that the star of A Moment in June was going to be seen worldwide in Bangkok Dangerous.
Yeah.
Does that help box office?
No, I honestly never thought of it. I cast him because he's an actor rather than a star, really. But at the same time, you can't deny that he's well known, which when it's come to marketing point of it, then it obviously helped. But I think it would be wrong to cast somebody just because they're famous. And the reason I cast him for A Moment in June was because we worked together so well, and I really liked the friendship and the connection that we have when we were working on the short film that we did, Bicycles and Radios. So.
For just a frame of reference for our viewers, it's March 9th, 2009, and this video will be available for years, and a lot has already happened in your life. One of the things that will be happening for you as you become more famous is your personal life will be harder to keep to yourself. And I'm wondering, are you worried about being a public person? Are you prepared for sort of everything that comes with that?
I don't know how to answer that because I haven't, I don't dress any differently than I did a year ago.
You don't, huh?
I'm still, and I don't really look at myself as somebody that, whatever you just mentioned, I just don't really see myself that way. At the moment, I don't anyway, and I don't think I will either.
You don't see yourself as famous?
No, I don't. I just, I'm here to make movies, and I'm here to tell a story, really, so.
Well, I'm here to tell your story, and I want to thank our viewers for tuning in to this episode of Snowbiz 24/7. We're running out of time, but is there anything you want to conclude with?
No, well, thank you for, well, thank you. I think that's the only word I want to say.
Well, thank you, and thank you for watching. Once again, this episode has been brought to you by the Sansuk Sauna and Guest House in Pattaya, Thailand. And you can find all the episodes at www.snowbiz247.com, and I'll take it away with another scan of Kun O and a close-up of his movie, A Moment in June.